Travis at Boss Tables here. Today we're going to go over our drive system, the different iterations that it could be, and why we use what we use. So this is helical gear rack. The other kind of gear rack is straight, and essentially these teeth are turned at about a 20-degree angle, which allows a smoother gear transition from the pinion to the rack. This is a little bit more accurate, but the main objective of the helical gear rack is for the transfer of the teeth, for vibration, and for basically the smoother your machine runs, the better your cuts are going to be. That's really a good thing to hit on. So we use helical rack and pinion because its ability to be dirty and to be kind of abused versus something like a ball screw. So a ball screw is a great way to transfer motion, but they don't like doing long lengths. So when a ball screw spins, there's two ways to drive a ball screw. You can drive a ball screw from the tip, or you can drive it from the nut. So basically you can have this spin, or you can spin the shaft. And the problem with long shaft lengths, let's say a 5x10 table or a 10x40, right, is that when you're spinning the shaft, the center mass of the shaft will start to wobble, and that's called whip. So the longer the shaft, you have to make it a larger diameter. The other thing you can do is spin the nut and put a motor on the nut and spin the nut. Now, ball screws are highly, highly accurate, but the problem is that when they get to such lengths, they become less feasible. So that's why we use rack and pinion on our X and Y axis, and then our Z is driven off of a ball screw. The ball screw, there's a different iteration called a lead screw, which there are some manufacturers that have used lead screws in the past with a brass nut, and they're the very, very rigid and square thread. You can tell by that. This is nice smooth edges, and it's got recirculating ball bearings in it, and it's a lot smoother and a lot more accurate to run with a ball screw. A lead screw wears out, the brass wears out, it can have some backlash issues, but they're really cheap. It's better and more productive to have a ball screw, but the lead screw is a cheap way to get by. Also, just like a gear rack is also a cheap way. When it's cheaper to buy straight rack than it is helical, right? So those are the most common drive systems. We've seen some our competitors or other people. There's a lot of different versions of all this, but mainly the guys that are building quality tables, we feel, do it just like that, like helical rack and ball screw. That is pretty standard, but we've seen some guys use chains, belts, like when they have a belt with a motor, like the belt will go up and over to the gear, and it turns the gear and it pulls the belt. Same iteration with a chain. Belts with the drive system taking place of your planetary gearbox. I don't prefer that. It's a very economical way to get things done. There's a pile of weird stuff that we've seen people do over the years, but it's always cool to see what people are doing. So, but that's what we do here at Boss Tables. Any questions? Let us know. Thanks. Bye.